Hey, this is Daz from the Frugal Gamer website and I'm back with another video, and this time we're going to be checking out the Hori Split Pad Pro for the Nintendo Switch. Now you can pick these up for around £45 and they're designed to give Switch owners a more comfortable gaming experience when playing in handheld mode. I often get hand cramps if I play the Nintendo Switch in handheld mode for too long, so I'm really interested to see if this sorts the problem. I'm hoping it will because the gamepads are way bigger than the original Joy-Cons. This will work with the latest version of the Switch and the original one, but it won't work with the Nintendo Switch Lite as that doesn't have removable Joy-Cons. As you can see by the box, this one has the Daemon X Machina branding, but it doesn't have much of an effect on the design itself. The only hints towards the game are the red thumbsticks and the fact that the X button has the same font as the game title. So let's get this bad boy unboxed and see if it lives up to the hype. Straight away you can see that these are way bigger than the Joy-Cons themselves, and they look like a Nintendo Switch Pro controller that's been cut in half. The other thing you notice is they feel really light, and this was a bit of a disappointment as I was hoping for something that felt a little bit more premium, but hopefully they'll feel okay once they're connected to the Switch. And before we take a close look at the features, we need to talk about some of the things that are not included on this controller. So they don't have any internal batteries, which means they can't be used when they're detached from the Switch like you can with the Joy-Cons. And as there's no internal battery, this means there's no rumble feature, no motion control, and no Nfc connection, so you'll be unable to scan in amiibos. You also can't use the controllers to wake the Switch, so you'll have to use the old-fashioned power button on the Switch itself. But you do have all the buttons you'd find on the normal Joy-Cons, including the home button, plus and minus, the share button, and you also get 2 rear triggers. In addition, you also get an assign button which lets you program the rear triggers to carry out functions of some of the other buttons. And then there's the turbo button which can be programmed to carry out rapid fire mode if the game supports it. And one of my favourite features is that you actually get a physical D-pad instead of the 4 buttons on the Joy-Cons that try to mimic it. And once you've removed the original Joy-Cons, fitting the split pad couldn't be easier. They slide in really easily with a really satisfying click once they're in place. So let's check it out and see if it's worth the £45 price tag. Well, straight away you can feel it's much more comfortable than the Joy-Cons and it really does feel nice in the hands. And I'm pleased to say once they're attached to the console, they don't feel anywhere near as cheap. They actually feel like you're playing with a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I've never really got on with shooting games on the Switch because the controls just doesn't suit them very well, but with this they feel so much better and you feel like you're actually playing on a proper full-size console. And despite the fact you've still got the tiny screen, I find the shooting games way more immersive when using these controllers. And playing platform games like Super Mario Bros is just as enjoyable. The one thing I will say is the thumbsticks don't have as much tension as the Joy-Cons, and this may take you a little while to get used to them. And even though I was quite concerned at the beginning that I wouldn't be able to get used to them, after about 20 minutes play they felt completely normal. I was really impressed with the quality of the material used for the thumbsticks. They have a nice soft finish and are very comfortable to use. And the actual buttons have a really nice tactile feel and they're quite nice to press. I actually prefer them to those on the Pro controller and the Joy-Cons. I've not found any input lag and all my button presses feel very well timed, which is vital when you're playing games like Mario. The D-pad is another nice addition and it's way better than the Joy-Con alternative. And I think anybody that plays fighting games is going to find it much nicer too. For me, one of the most important things on a controller is the bumper and triggers, and on the Hori Split Pad Pro, this is something I've got mixed opinions about. The main ZR and ZL triggers are some of the nicest I've found on any controller. They've got a really nice ergonomical design, a nice amount of travel, and just feel very comfortable to use. But the right and left bumper triggers are nowhere near as nice, and they've got a really soft, sloppy feel about them. However, this is slightly compensated by the fact that you've got the rear triggers on the back of the controller, as they're more similar to the ZL and ZR triggers and feel nice and responsive as well as comfortable, and are nicely placed for those with larger hands. And another issue I have is that the stand on the back no longer works because the weight of the controllers actually cause it to fall over. Plus you can see this massive lip when the controllers are connected to the Switch, which I think is a bit of a sloppy design. I think they really could have made a better job of this. It seems the reason for this design is it can still be dockable with the Split Pad Pro attached, which makes it a little bit more excusable. So the big question is what do I think about the product overall? Well, there are a few features missing that you'll find on the official Joy-Cons, and these do make the Nintendo Switch slightly less portable. I did also find that this drains the Switch battery slightly faster, but not to a point where it makes it a real issue. And then there's the fact you'll find it pretty much impossible to find a case to store the Switch in with these attached. But on the positive side, it does completely transform the feel of the Switch for the better. It's so much more comfortable than having the Joy-Cons attached. It makes playing shooting games on the Switch way more enjoyable, and you'll often forget that you're playing a portable console. And if you don't mind missing out on features like rumble and motion control, then I'd recommend this to everybody that wants to increase the comfortability when playing the Nintendo Switch and improve your results when playing shooting games. So even though I was a little skeptical at first, I'd now give this a big thumbs up. So thanks again for checking out this video, it really is appreciated, and please support us by liking the video, subscribing to our channel and maybe even sharing with your friends. Don't forget to check out our website at frugalgaming.co.uk for all the latest video game deals in the UK, and also follow us on Twitter, we're at frugalgaming. Thanks again and I'll see you on the next video.